And this is my message to the Igbo king in Ghana. Oga, we have welcomed you with an open arm and made your stay comfortable in Ghana. We have given you a home away from your home, something that should be respected. Don't start anything that will ruin this situation. I'm told you are a generous man who has helped many of our people in the community you live, and that's totally welcomed, Oga. And I understand you are doing this for the interest of your tribesmen in Ghana. That is totally welcome. But please be reminded and be guided that Ghana is not the designation for your kingdom. That will be in Nigeria. You are at liberty to live within the confines of our laws and borders for as long as you would want. But that should be it, Oga. Our politicians may make promises to you and grant you access to certain high-profile meetings in the country. But we, the people, will see you for the foreigner that you are.
I'm an Igbo man, so I can tell you people better that such level of criminality, hence a clinical evidence through imbecility or a clinical evidence of imbecility, is more with the Igbo tribe.
Let it be on record and let it be known and noted, both by foreigners, both by Ghanaians, both by every individual, that in the motherland Ghana, we only have one king, one monarch, in the person of the king of Ashanti. The rest are chiefs and sub-chiefs, right? According to the tradition of Ghana. I stand to be corrected. And on this note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, still on this trending, very worrisome and very, very infuriated issue. I call it an issue because it is now overburdening and very, very infuriating on all Ghanaians, especially those who are concerned. And for today, one of the most respected Ghanaian content creators that I personally respect and love so much, reasons because he is non-biased, non-sentimental, non-hypocritical. He just says things just the way it is. He's not a people-pleasing, neither is he in any party nor any group, alliance or whatsoever. All he stands is for nothing but the truth. From Ghana, which is Tum Network, has officially released a video that is so precise, straight to the point, and hitting the nail on the head by saying it just the way it is, based on this Igbo king in Ghana. For the sake of this video, I will not be calling him an Igbo king in Ghana. I will be calling him Oga, because I believe that at this point he is not recognized even in Nigeria or by Nigerians. Neither is he accepted by Ghanaians, because in Ghana we only have one king, and no other person from any tribe, any culture, any land, any kingdom should challenge such traditions, laws, and authority in the motherland Ghana. And as well, on this hand, I've got one respected Nigerian that I respect so much. If you have been a part of this channel or my other channels, you always see me talk about him, show his postulations, his commentary, his opinion, non-biased, non-hypocritical as well, and non-sentimental. And what does all this depict? That I personally do not follow trend or follow people because of how much you have in your pocket, but because of how sensible, reasonable, rational, and very, very free from crime, irritated by crime. As an individual, you stand for nothing but the truth, and that is one person as Chimdi that I respect. He has also put in his own 2 cents, his opinion about this Igbo king, so-called self-acclaimed king in Ghana. We're going to take these videos. Please, I oblige for those who have missed out, even though you have watched it, rewatch it again for proper understanding and comprehension, so that when I am giving my own opinion and reaction, because by the grace of God, I am not a news teller, a newscaster, I am a reactor. So I will react based on my own personal opinion and reactions, my own personal way of reasoning and thinking towards this whole thing at the end of the day. So please patiently watch to the end. Give this video for my own sake, not the sake of the main topic, a huge and a massive thumbs up, because I know some of us get angry and will say, what's the need of liking this video? Like it because it helps this video to reach out to more people, because there is a movement called the Igbo must go. I am happy that it is the Igbo that must go. There are still innocent Igbos though, but this man is trying to affect all of them, or even Nigerians as a whole. But at the end, I will deliberate more on it, like I said. But let's watch this video, like, share, and stay subscribed if this is the first time here, and I will see you at the end.
There is a disturbing development creeping up in Ghana, and every well-meaning Ghanaian will have to sit up and grant me your attention for just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. A man born in Nigeria who settled in Ghana some decades ago and over time became well-respected leader among his tribesmen has now set up a kingdom for himself in our country, ladies and gentlemen. He is an Igbo man bearing the title Eze Chukudi Ihenetu. I hope I'm saying it right. He has the title Eze in the Igbo Ghana, which translates King of Igbo people in Ghana. His tribesmen in Ghana crowned him this position and the title in 2012. And these are his images, ladies and gentlemen. A very fine gentleman whom we are told is married to a Ghanaian. And as a typical Ghanaian, ladies and gentlemen, I have no problem with that at all. But many people, including myself, will have a problem with anyone or any situation that has the potential to undermine our sovereignty as a republic. What has made our country livable for all people for many years is our hospitality towards one another and to foreigners, ladies and gentlemen. And that cannot be circumvented by any external tribe nor group of people. Ghana has a common chieftaincy practice of installing foreigners as development chiefs for the purpose of providing value to our local communities. This is a typical thing in Ghana. And hence, I thought what this man and his tribesmen were doing was something in line of that. Until, ladies and gentlemen, I read from an internet publication that they, and I mean the Igbo people, or he as a king in Ghana, has acquired acres of lands to build an Igbo town and establish an Igbo kingdom within Ghana. This is where I became disturbed, even though I'm yet to see any substantive evidence for this acquisition. That would be totally unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow Ghanaians, I want to believe this is a falsified story. But if not, this is not something we should entertain or allow to continue. Ghana is a sovereign country alongside our kings and our chiefs. They are called kings and chiefs for historical reasons. They have fought and protected their lands and been the source of the unity of our people till this modern era. It is not a title given out of charity, ladies and gentlemen. There is a meaning and a story behind every stool or throne in Ghana. There is a story behind every stool, land, and family lineage that authenticates the royalty of our kings and chiefs. These institutions are not to be toyed with nor replicated in any shape or form, ladies and gentlemen. People have fought and died in the protection of their clans and tribes and lands in Ghana. It used to be our system of governance before the colonizers came in and therefore should be respected whether by foreigners or locals, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening with this self-acclaimed king of Igbo'S in Ghana, if true, will be a direct infringement on our chieftaincy structure and the sovereignty of our country as a whole. This cannot happen in any other region outside of Accra and even in Nigeria. Can this even happen in Ashanti region, ladies and gentlemen, or any of the northern regions? In fact, this shouldn't happen in any other country and shouldn't happen for that matter in Ghana. The Igbo people of Biafra need a king and true leadership in these times of struggle for an Igbo nation. That cannot be done in a strange land. What this man is trying to do in Ghana will undermine his own people's effort for freedom from Nigeria. And I don't think his intention is to create a kingdom here in Ghana and move his people along. If he indeed has the resources and the know-how to lead his people, this is the time to stand up strong for your people in Abia and Anambra and Ebonyi and Enugu and in Imo states in Nigeria. Biafra is at crossroads with the federal government of Nigeria, and we as Ghanaians don't want to meddle in that. To be crowned a king is not simply by an election. It must be tied to the lineage of your family, the land of your tribe or family, the historical achievements or significance of your family name in relation to the community you lead, ladies and gentlemen. You don't just blip on the radar in a community that has its own leadership structure and annex your throne to theirs, ladies and gentlemen. That is not how it's done and doesn't make you a king nor a leader. And one reason we have to make this topical is because of how politicians relate with them. During the times of the formal government or the president, this man was seen, invited, and associated with the leadership of our country. And before the elections were held last year, he paid a visit to our current president. This is what he has used to gain for himself the popularity and the needed attention, ladies and gentlemen. But that's definitely not what Ghana needs at this time. We are not in need of more kings and chiefs, ladies and gentlemen. We have a diplomatic relationship with Nigeria, and that should be observed. The idea of our immigration officers inviting him and working with him is not going to be a healthy thing for Ghana and Nigeria's relationship in the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to pay attention to all these. Nigeria has a high commissioner in Ghana. He is the representation of Nigerian government in Ghana. He is the one to be consulted or engaged on whatever the issues may be. Ladies and gentlemen, we the people of Ghana must be vigilant with the happenings in our country. We have come a long way with our differences, and that shouldn't be undermined under any circumstance. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome people from every part of Africa and the world to our country because that is who we are as a people. We are inherently peaceful people who just want to go about our business and live in peace with all men. we have what many African countries never had. We are one of the few African countries that has never experienced a civil war since independence, and we've had a stable democracy in the last 33 years. We have successfully seen the transition of political powers in that time frame, ladies and gentlemen, and we cannot be naive of the threats to these achievements. There is absolutely no need nor room for an Igbo king of Ghana or Yoruba king of Ghana or any sort of king on our land. How does it even work, ladies and gentlemen? Does it mean we will have to resort to him when an Igbo person is at loggerheads with our laws or not? That cannot be, because no Nigerian travels to Ghana or to any country on a passport issued by an Igbo state. It is Nigeria we deal with and should remain so until there is a country called Igbo or Biafra. Nigeria is a friend and a strategic partner of Ghana, and that is how far it should go. A similar thing was happening in the Adan area in the Greater Accra region when a group of Lebanese people bought lands and wanted to build a Lebanese community that will prohibit Ghanaians from accessing it, ladies and gentlemen. They likewise wanted a town and a system for themselves within Ghana. Could that ever happen in Lebanon or in Nigeria for Ghanaians under any circumstance, ladies and gentlemen? Let's be guided and not be naive. What then becomes of our originality should that happen on our soil? It is true that historically, the Ga tribe originated from an Igbo community in Nigeria, but those who actually migrated left for a reason and chose to stay and not return. They have since then installed their own kings and chiefs at this point and contributed significantly to our nation's building. The Ga tribe in Ghana live a completely different reality from the Igbo'S in Nigeria. Don't let the few overlapping cultural similarities confuse you. They've moved on, and we should leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Ghana has its own problems to deal with. Let everyone go and deal with their problems in their individual countries. Our chieftaincy problems are already a headache for us. We don't need more. And this is my message to the Igbo king in Ghana. Oga, we have welcomed you with an open arm and made your stay comfortable in Ghana. We have given you a home away from your home, something that should be respected. Don't start anything that will ruin this situation. I'm told you are a generous man who has helped many of our people in the community you live, and that's totally welcomed, Oga. And I understand you are doing this for the interest of your tribesmen in Ghana. That is totally welcome. But please be reminded and be guided that Ghana is not the designation for your kingdom. That will be in Nigeria. You are at liberty to live within the confines of our laws and borders for as long as you would want. But that should be it, Oga. Our politicians may make promises to you and grant you access to certain high-profile meetings in the country, but we the people will see you for the foreigner that you are. As it stands now, there is no indication in any official government publication or credible Ghanaian website or media that suggests that your stool has been gazetted in Ghana. Let's leave it at that, Oga, and let's allow for Ghana to continue to live in the peace that we have. Thank you for watching, and hope this video finds its way to him. And hope
here in Ghana, the population of Nigerians in Ghana is about 4 million. And these 4 million, the Igbo'S are the majority. The Igbo'S here in Ghana, they've married a lot of Ghanaians, Togolese, Liberians, Burkinabes, and even Ghana, where we live. Now, these children are all Igbo'S. And if we don't let them know the culture and tradition of the Igbo'S, it means our culture is wiping away. And the installation of this king means to plant the culture and tradition of the Igbo in Ghana and any other country that we found that there are a good number of the Igbo'S living in that country. By that, the essence of this kingship has come to be.
I've always maintained that imbecility is a clinical evidence of criminality. I've always maintained it, and I stand to be corrected. And I say this in case a greater number of you from this particular post begin to wonder why Nigerians think the way they think, especially the people from the tribe of Igbo. I'm an Igbo man, so I can tell you people better that such level of criminality, hence a clinical evidence through imbecility or a clinical evidence of imbecility, is more with the Igbo tribe. I mean, when you see an Igbo man think, because he's money conscious, you will understand that he's very deluded. They don't care about rationality. They can do things, they can talk like madmen. They don't reason, all because of the money. So in their bid and their desperate chase for the money, you find out that their mind, you see, that's why they say that it will be hard for a rich man or one that chases money to enter a healthy mental state, which is what we call paradise spiritually. They say it will be easier for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than for a man that chases money to have a healthy state of mind, to be sane enough. And that's exactly what happens to you. Now, what do I mean by this? How could this be your reason, your justification for coming to another man's land and clinging to chieftaincies and king? Ask me. Even in the Bible, or where logic and rationality applies, have you ever seen a person leave his own land, go to another man's land, and start claiming kingship. If you've given birth to children with the ladies of the people you had, claimed to, take them back home. Take them back home. This is not the reason for you to come to another man's land and start running all these kingship, eze, and all these things. Royalty. See, no matter how royal you are in your place, when you come to another man's land, leave it at the doorstep. This is another man's house, and you're coming to claim a king in another man's house. And the funny thing. The funny thing is that these same people in their own land can't even claim this right. These same people in their own land can't even do this thing they are doing. They come to another man's land and they start showing rights. Anyways, this is not something that should shock a great number of us who already know who the Igbo'S are. I'm going to tell you people a very little story, a real life story. So, Enugu State and Ebonyi State are neighboring states in the eastern part of Nigeria, highly dominated by the Igbo tribe. In fact, it belongs to the Igbo tribe. Now, what I'm about to tell you will shock you as a Ghanaian and as a South African. Do you know that the governor of Ebonyi State lives in Enugu State? The governor of Igbo'S State lives in Enugu State. Every single time he travels back to Enugu State, in a siren on a convoy. As if he is the governor of Enugu State. If it's not because the governor of Enugu State had to tell him, bro, they cannot be, think about it now, this thing is rational. There cannot be two governors in one state. Whereas your state is empty of a governor. You're governing your state from my state. And then whilst coming back to my own state, you're on a convoy and you're blowing siren like the governor. Now this emphasizes exactly what you people are seeing in Ghana. What you people see in Ghana with Nigerians who are Igbo'S, with the Igbo'S who are Nigerians. You leave your father's land, come to another man's land, where you should be focused about doing what you're doing. Do your right thing, establish your reputation. Peradventure you married those people's daughters and they gave birth to your children. When chiefs are down, bring back your children home. Don't come to establish chieftaincy title and do all this your fake, illusional, deluded royalty in another man's land. I have never seen the most deluded sets of people than this set of people. I have never in my whole life. That is why when I tell you people that 3 out of 4 Nigerians are mad, people think it's profane. It's not profanity. I've shown you people facts and figures. It's playing out. I'm telling you people that's why if you come to Nigeria, you see lots of imbeciles, lots of mentally deformed people, lots of Down syndromes. Some clinical, even when they don't even show you, by their looks you will know, because you see lots of deformities. You don't need their actions to know that these people are deformed. You just need to look at them to see their deformity. I'm telling you the truth. It's uncalled for. In fact, I don't get it at all.
All right, guys, straight to the point. If you have followed this topic on my other channel, Civic Inspirations, I know most of the people I have here are also there. But here is strictly on standing for the motherland, protecting the motherland, talking about the motherland, and making sure that there is no hitch. There is no hitch break of anyone, any people, whosoever against the motherland. And for the growth, the success, and development of the motherland, Ghana, is what I solely do here. Sorry, I've been away like you all know, but I'm back and better. So, guys, hearing from what the Tumtum Network, the Ghanaian man has said, and the Igbo man has said, is a clear picture and conclusion to the fact that the laws binding on foreigners as Ghanaians is highly prohibiting the act of this man becoming a king. Like I said, firstly, we only have one king, monarch in Ghana, which is the great king of Ashanti, King Otunfo. This king is the only king recognized by Ghanaians. Other sub-chiefs and chiefs are still under the leadership. So why should a Nigerian, like we have seen, because they feel Ghanaians' welcoming attitude, peacefulness, calm nature, has given them an oversight and a rubber stand to stay in the country and begin to act as though they share the same rights. They share the same grounds. They share the law. The law must be twisted. I watched a video yesterday. I was almost crying. Of this king, this so-called Oga of the Igbo'S, right? Saying to Ghanaian police, to Ghanaian immigration, how they should fine-tune the law of Ghana to suit the Igbo'S, to suit him, to suit Nigerians, because I know that any reasonable, rational thinking Nigerians, as Chindi, myself, and the rest, would not even want any country or thinking that any country should break what is their law that is binding on foreigners to suit them. Why? We are not the only foreigners in Ghana. There are other countries national. We have China, we have different African countries, too numerous to mention. But you will hardly hear them. You will hardly hear them, right? Even when you hear about most countries, you see the most country that is also giving issues that is outside the continent of Africa is China. But that aside, when it comes to other African countries, West African countries, you will hardly see them coming to claim land, claim boundary, claim titles, claim territory, going extra mile to do things that they are not requested of by Ghanaians in Ghana. But you see this man manipulatively, that's my word, manipulatively entering into the system, the traditions, the boundaries, the custom, the law of Ghana, breaking it bit by bit in his so-called sense of what? Trying to be part of the country, trying to build a community, trying to build a kingdom. Like, who in his right senses does that? You've heard it from Chindi. He broke the whole thing. He said it, how Igbo'S, I thank God that this is coming from an Igbo man, naturally behave, think, and act everywhere they go. And it's the audacity for this man to even say that they carry their culture everywhere they go. What a shame, what a disgrace and embarrassment. You carry your culture everywhere you go, to put on the faces of people, break their laws, and make it so obvious that you are now sharing the same right with them. You are now, in the same limelight with them in another man's country, a foreigner. Does this man understand what it means to be a foreigner? The word foreigner, that no matter what you do, how you do it, you are a foreigner remains the fact that you are a foreigner, and it must be respected. Whether you're a permanent resident or whatsoever, a foreigner is a foreigner. As long as your both parents, they did not give birth to you as a Ghanaian or a citizen of that country, you are a foreigner. You even see in the Western world that Nigerians naturalize. They still treat them and other African countries as the said immigrants, foreigners that they are, in form of racism. Because they know that if you are never white, you can never be white. It is in some countries that you see that these things are somehow, minimized. But that does not depict the fact that a country's law, a country's policy, a country's tradition should be broken by anyone whatsoever. And that is what this king has done. From the comments I have gotten so far, this man has broken every law of the Ghana laws, traditions, and culture. He has broken it. Pouring libation is even an abomination. Even taking that title to a king, you are challenging King Otunfo. Say, you are challenging our king. You are challenging the king of Ghana. It's an insult. It's a disrespect. Don't you get it? How dare you come to other people's country to take a title that is specially kept for a certain person, right? Well respected by the whole world. And you want to come there. What happened to your country? Why are you a runaway? Why are you running from your country? Is Ghana your country? Why are you Nigerians overtaking the chances given to you by Ghanaians for granted, for a right, for an insult? You see, I keep saying these things. Those people you think that at the end of the day are calm and peaceful because they just want to be so. It's in their nature. The day they will rise up against you people, the day they will rise up and tell you that, see, don't take my gentility, because that's the way personally I act and behave. I am very kind. I am very respectful. I can be very, very, very welcoming and receptive, but don't cross my boundaries. If you even know where I come from as a person by birth, this is the reason why we don't sell land to Igbo people, because they are very oppressive, domineering, and intimidating. They don't think like my brother Chimdi said. They don't think like my brother Chimdi said. Coming from an Igbo man, because of this, their character. If an Igbo man comes to where I come from to buy a property, a land, they will never sell till tomorrow. It's a law in my place that can never be broken. If you go through the corners, they find out that you're an Igbo person buying, they will refund you your money. I had to investigate and ask, let me also share this secret here. And they said, during the time of the war in Nigeria, there's something an Igbo man did to my people, right? That they will never forget. History will never forget, and they will never allow history take that part again, play that scene again, repeat itself again in my place, in my community, in my land. And we are one people that are very huge, high, keen on what? Protecting our boundaries. That's why when I initially saw this move, I was screaming it, I was saying it since last year. Go and check. I was saying it. But I thank God that everything is playing out now. Everything is coming out and Ghanaians are fully aware. And there is a movement by Ghanaians. So on this note, I am happy for this Ghanaian man who have come out openly. See the way he said everything straight to the point, hit the nail on the head without mixing words. And this is what I expected other content creators to be doing as Ghanaians. It not seem as though maybe we who are Nigerians are even crying more than they believed. Apart from Mr. Manager and some other Ghanaians, that this man is even attacking, saying he will sue them. Do you know what you're even saying? You are in another man's country as a foreigner, you will sue the person that's protecting his or her country. Like, do these people like Chimdi say think through their brain? I keep saying these things because I still wonder, like, how do these people act and behave? How do they reason? Is it this long throat, gluttonous, desperate, pursuit for money that has damaged their mentality and their brain? That all they think is because they want to make money, and when they make the money, they can oppress, they can intimidate. Intimidate who? Foolish people like you that are concerned about money, not people like me, because life is way beyond making money. Life is about the laws, the principles that you keep, you respect, the way you live your life that is not affecting the next person, giving the next person their respect and not crossing their boundaries, knowing what is right from wrong and staying away from wrong things. That is what life is all about, not about how much you have in your bank account. These are the issues, ladies and gentlemen. Enough is enough, Oga. Oga Igbo leader in Ghana. I don't want to use the word king because we only have one king in Ghana. It's an abomination. It's even an insult. No, go back to your closet and have a rethink. Even the New Year festival and everything you want to do in Ghana, no, no, no. Ghanaians are saying, take it to Nigeria. Go and practice your culture there. Go and build whatever you want to build. We need it more in Nigeria. I'll show you the schools we have. I'll bring more. I'll bring more schools we have in Nigeria. Rotting, dilapidated schools, even in the east where he comes from. They have run away. They want to go and be practicing there. So-called Biafra. Biafra in another man's land. Is your country prohibited? You have destroyed Nigeria. People have destroyed Nigeria. It's people like you that have ruined this country, and you're going to another man's country to find that solace, to overshadow and overpower them. I trust Ghanaians. They will not take it easy on you. The fire that is coming for you, if you know it, you will know that even those people that are backing you up as Ghanaians will not save you. I rest my case because I'm fully in support of any actions that Ghanaians at this point want to take. Go ahead, because enough is enough. If you don't protect what you have, someone who knows the value and importance of what you have will take it from you and use it against you and protect it by all means. Be careful and be wise to all Ghanaians. Leave your thoughts, share your comments down in the comment section. Like this video and stay subscribed if this is your first time here. This is coming from the stable of Vibe with the ambassador, one of the motherland Ghana. Yes, I'm here to represent, defend, and stand for nothing but the bitter and the brutal truth. It doesn't matter whom you are. It will definitely not sit well with you because the truth is not for everyone, but for those who understand. For those who understand, this is for you. Stay glued here because more videos are coming your way. And for now, I will say do have a lovely, peaceful, blessed, and a successful day. Bye, guys.